Doris is a smart and sensitive young girl with a very uneasy life. She lives with her mother, Christine, and her seriously ill brother, Max. Doris has to look after Max, while Christine barely pays any attention to her daughter's thoughts or feelings. The girl is used to living in her brother's shadow and sacrifices her school and social life in order to help her mother satisfy Max's needs. When his condition becomes hopeless, Christine makes a decision to move him to a hospice, and Doris helps her with that. The place is buzzing because of social protests, and the police are tasked with checking all the visitors. At school, Doris feels like an outsider. Everyone is talking about boys and parties and doesn't notice Doris at all. In the hospice, Christine nitpicks every detail, which makes her daughter feel awkward and embarrassed. Eventually, Doris loses her temper, says that Christine is acting like a crazy person, and leaves. In a diner, Doris strikes up a conversation with a social activist named Paul. She tells him about her brother's brain cancer. Max doesn't see anything and hasn't spoken to his family for years, captured in his own body. Doris believes that death will at least stop his suffering, but Paul says that every life matters. Paul also tells Doris about his deceased wife, and Doris opens up about her problematic relationship with Christine. In the middle of their conversation, Christine bursts into the diner and takes Doris back home. There, she tells Doris that she's going to spend the night with Max in the hospice. Doris is worried about the upcoming storm and scared of staying in the house alone. Christine insists that she wants to support her child. When Doris notes that she is her child too, Christine becomes angry and takes her emotions out on her daughter. At school, Doris overhears that her classmates don't have a place for a party and offers her house as an option. Her peers finally notice her and gather at her place, drinking, dancing, and using drugs. Doris catches the attention of her handsome classmate Nate, and they have a proper talk for the first time in her life. The girls tell Doris how beautiful she is, but she doesn't believe it since nobody had ever complimented her before. After her first night in the hospice, Christine walks around the building and meets a hospice counselor. The woman offers to talk, but Christine is not ready to grieve her son yet. She comes back home and takes Doris to see her brother. There, Doris meets Paul again. After she asks him for a cigarette, they discuss their lives and the people they lost. Paul once again shares the thought that all lives are priceless no matter what, and advises Doris to talk to her brother while she still can. Unfortunately, Max can't hear her or respond. At school, guys ask Doris if they can use her house for another party, and she agrees. When they ask her if she smokes weed, the girl tells them that she would definitely like to try it. At the party, Doris tries different ways to have fun with her new friends. She smokes, drinks beer, and talks about boys like an ordinary teenage girl. Christine doesn't look interested in Doris's life and talks to her only when she has to look after her brother. Doris invites the girls for a sleepover, and they tell her that Nate has a crush on her. Doris admits she has feelings for him too, but one of the girls hints that she shouldn't get her hopes too high. The girls find Max's room, so Doris has to confess about her family situation. To earn their favor, she even allows her friends to take Max's old medication pills. Christine makes Doris spend time in the hospice, forcing her to pay more attention to Max. She is filled with paranoid thoughts and wants Max to feel safe and secure. Doris spends another night with her friends, drinking shots and playing Truth or Dare. The atmosphere heats up when the guys get a dare to take off their clothes. The policeman stops Christine and doesn't allow her to spend the night in the hospice due to the aggressive social protests. Christine begs to be let inside the building, but even her tears can't change the policeman's mind. She heads back home and enters right in the middle of the party when Nate kisses Doris. For Christine, it is a truly heartbreaking scene, taking into account how broken she already is. She yells at the guys and threatens to call the cops, so they instantly leave. Christine doesn't trust Doris anymore, so she takes her daughter to the hospice and makes her spend nights there with her. She doesn't let Doris apologize, and the girl feels sad and depressed because of what happened. The next day, she finds Paul, and he takes the girl to watch the Super Bowl. They have fun, and Doris opens up to him about the ruined party and her mom's reaction. Paul shares his memories about the love of his life, who died from an aneurysm, and asks Doris about her biggest dream. She tells him that she has always wanted to drive, but her mom never allows her to. Christine shares her emotions with the counselor, who tells her that she shouldn't forget that she has one more child, not only Max. At school, Doris apologizes to her friends for ruining the party, but they say that everything is okay. They take her for a ride and buy fake IDs. Doris gets one as well. When she returns to the hospice, Paul offers her to drive his car. He quickly realizes that she doesn't know what she is doing and gives her a driving lesson. Together, they have fun and enjoy each other's company, and Doris finally feels a little bit better. At school, she finds the courage to speak up about the social protests near the local hospice. At night, Christine apologizes to Doris and promises that she will be a better mother from now on. After she falls asleep, Doris escapes and heads to her friend's party. She uses her fake ID to enter the club, and Nate buys her a drink. Suddenly, Doris receives a voicemail from her mom, saying that her brother is dying and she has to come back as soon as possible. She rushes to the hospice only to discover that Christine lied to her. They have a fight, and Doris calls her mom a monster and leaves. Paul tries to stop her and make her reconcile with her mother, but Doris takes all her anger out on him and runs away. In the morning, Nate asks Doris to be his prom date and kisses her. At home, she drinks vodka and looks through old photo albums, recalling her happy childhood memories with Max. While Doris prepares for the prom with her girlfriends, Christine calls her and tells her that Max is about to die, this time for real. The girl makes a difficult decision to skip prom, leaves her friends, and hurries to the hospice. But when she reaches the place, it is already too late. Max is dead, and Doris has so much to say to him that it breaks her heart. Christine and her daughter cry together, grieving the person they lost forever. Before they leave the hospice, Doris goes to talk to Paul. He comforts her and tells her that he is happy that they became friends. This unique friendship has helped both of them. Paul eventually starts moving on after the death of his wife, while Doris becomes more mature and understands that family is the thing that matters more than anything else in the world. Doris opens up about her feelings, revealing that Max is in a better place now, free from the pain and suffering he went through during all the past years. She introduces Paul to Christine and then drives her mom home. Christine asks her when she learned how to drive. Well, now these two will have plenty of time to rebuild their relationship and become closer to each other, but that is already another story.